this damage happened, what did you do then? Did you take it to an independent mechanic?
Yes, we did.
Very good. Not
Yes.
just once, but twice, I think.
Yes.
And one of the things you discovered is that the MOT wasn't, in fact, 12 months, but it only had 5 months left on it.
That's correct, yeah.
You took it to a second mechanic, correct?
Yeah.
Right, and that second mechanic provided a report.
He has, yeah.
Can I see that report?
Yeah, of course you can.
Thank you, Michelle. It says a number of things. There are problems with the vehicle. Rocker cover, gasket leaking, and, of course, the real issue is the head gasket. Now, interestingly, this expert mechanic chooses not to charge you for the diagnosis, and there's a reason for that, isn't there? What's the reason? What do they end up telling you about the car?
It's just not worth doing. It's going to cost more than the car's worth to get the car fixed.
In other words, in fact, as Adrian intuitively said, the car is really only worth part.
Very much so, yeah.
What did you do to try and remedy the situation?
Basically, we couldn't get in contact with Adrian over the phone, so we sent a few text messages, and the text message we received didn't make any sense to the ones we had sent.
These are messages to you to say, we've had a serious accident, the car is utterly dreadful, it's falling to bits, the engine doesn't work, the tyres have fallen off, and you replying, that's interesting, do you need a new window winder? That's the sort of theme of this exchange. Mark, ordinarily, I would have dismissed your case. In 9 times out of 10 or more, if the car breaks down, it's your fault. It's buyer beware, and that's the end of the case. The law is different when it comes to people who sell things in the course of their business. Now, that might be in the course of their business either because they sell cars, even from time to time, irregularly, and or where they have specialist knowledge, as in this instance, a car mechanic. Adrian's business, chiefly and primarily, and at most times, is a car mechanic business. But with that knowledge, they use those expertise to sell vehicles, sometimes in addition to the work they do as mechanics. So to that extent, Adrian sold that car to you in the course of his business. And because he did that, the law is this. So, Adrian, this is what you need to be aware of. Where you sell that car in the course of a business, even in the narrow way that I construe that this was in the course of your business, if it develops a fault within the first 6 months, it's up to you to prove to me, on the balance of probabilities, so that I'm more sure than not, that that car was of satisfactory quality. Well, by your own admission, you say the car was only good for parts. Now, if that was right, you should have sold it specifically to somebody who you knew would only use that vehicle for parts. Because you sold it to somebody who was entitled to, and here's a surprise, use the thing as a car, he was entitled to full enjoyment of the vehicle and was entitled for it to be in working order. So to that extent, in law, you are liable. And therefore, Mark, this court awards you the full value of the car back. This court awards you £475.
Thank you very much, Judge.
I don't make any criticism of your work as a mechanic or about your company, but one has to be very careful if you're selling cars, even in the narrowest course of business. That's the award of this court.
Mark won his case, and he was awarded the full amount of his claim. Let's find out how both parties felt about the judge's ruling.
We explained the situation when we wanted the car. Just, you know, we needed it for our son, for his appointments, and we basically wanted a car that would run for more than a couple of months.
I thought if I put spares or repair or parts on the receipt, I thought I could just sell it cheap and I'd never see it again.
No mention of parts. You didn't mention anything about the car needed repaired. All you said that needed doing was the windows needed repairing, and you had the switch come in that I would fit. That's the only thing you said to me that was wrong with the car.
I'm sorry about the confusion, really, but it's reflected in the price.
Absolutely. I mean, we can just put things to rest now and look for another car, one that works.
For more Judge Rinder cases, click here. And if you've got a legal issue yourself, get in touch with us by clicking over here.